News tonight at 5 is possibly one of the biggest judgments handed down against one single hotel as it relates to a sex trafficking case involving a minor. Our Maureen Glisovic joins us with the details of this case. Maureen.
A Benton County judge entered a $25.4 million judgment against OM Hospitality, Inc., the owners of the Economy Inn in Springdale. This after a teen was sex trafficked from that hotel during the summer of 2014 through July 2017.
She was abused at this motel as well as another motel down the street by a trafficker who had really kind of groomed her, taken advantage of her, being young. She was in foster care, so she didn't have a lot of stability at home.
Rainwater Holt Sexton attorney Meredith Moore sued the owners of the Economy Inn in Springdale after their client suffered at the hands of a trafficker while staying at this motel.
He was forcing her to have sex with between 10 and 15 male customers per day, and this was all taking place in between these two motels in Springdale. She was subjected to not just the sexual abuse, the rapes that were occurring there, but lots of abuse on the part of her trafficker while at those motels.
The lawsuit claimed the owners of the Economy Inn knew exactly what was taking place. Litigation against another motel, the Royal Inn, is just now underway.
When you have a business like this one that's in our state that's not doing the things that they need to be doing to protect the public, then they need to be held accountable. And so they were negligent by knowing that this was going on their premises for years. I mean, she was being held there for 6-week periods at a time over the course of 3 years, and she was only like 14, 15, 16 when this happened.
Moore says in this day and age, ignorance is no longer an acceptable excuse.
Just say, oh, we didn't know that that was going on. There's no way that anybody can turn a blind eye to this kind of thing. And so because there are so many resources out there to train your staff on what to look for and how to report it and how to respond to it, it's just not acceptable anymore.
In this case, the judge ruled in favor of Moore's client and entered a $25.4 million judgment against the owners of the Economy Inn.
They didn't show up for the hearing. They didn't file an answer. They didn't turn it over to a lawyer to file an answer. And so the judge was able to look at the evidence.
The owners have since obtained an attorney. David Donovan tells KATV, quote, "The judgment was entered without any representation of the defendant. My client found out about the judgment after entry on social media and hired my firm." He has no further comment until they analyze the case. On your side, Maureen Glisovic.
Maureen, thank you. If you're a victim, a survivor, or know someone who has been sex trafficked, you're encouraged to contact Rainwater Holt Sexton so they can assess your case.